I'm Rebecca Hillman, and I'm an ECE teacher at the Diller Family Preschool, and I teach 2- and 3-year-olds this year.
My name is Rose Souders, and I am the administrative assistant for both the preschool and the athletics department.
When we started the trip with Mookie, our educator and tour guide, he mentioned connecting dots, and we made dots on a page, and we would connect some here and there. It wasn't a sequential endeavor at all, but we ended up with lots of dots and lots of connections. And coming back here, that process is continuing. Dots are continuing to be made, connections are continuing to be made, and hopefully that will continue forever.
I'm Cliff Merritt. I'm the aquatics program manager, and I am in charge of the entire swim school and everything else that happens here in the swimming pool.
What I do here, I just do my patrol, making everybody safe. Everybody has safe.
The big connection thing that I got was about how personable everybody was, how everybody just talked to each other, and the sense of community that they created.
One thing I really enjoyed about this trip was the chance I had to bond with people who I worked with but didn't really know, and people I've seen over the past few years, and liked but just didn't know very well.
I've definitely made a lot of connections and bonds with the people that I went on the group with, whether it was with Rabbi Eve or even our travel guide Mookie. We've all had this amazing experience together, this eye-opening experience, and we all share that same bond. And I can see definitely the connections that I probably would have never made if I would have never went on this trip. I can see them still strengthening after this trip has ended, and that's just something I think is very rare. You get, 10 to 15 coworkers together going on this, travel trip, and you're seeing all these things. You're challenged, you're exhausted, you're pressured, you're confused, things are complicated. It's really hard to want to go that extra step and put yourself out there.
This year I'm teaching a class of 2- and 3-year-olds, and for them to grasp what Israel is and where Israel is confusing enough, but for them to know that a teacher of theirs is gone for 2 weeks and what she might be doing there is a whole other idea. It was really interesting trying to come up with ways to help them understand what I was doing and why, and my enthusiasm and excitement for going, even though I'm leaving them. We put up a map of Israel on the bulletin board in the classroom with pictures of me moving around as the days progressed when I was away. And when I returned, they were so happy to see me, and they really seemed to understand that I was gone and I was in Israel, and that it was a really special trip. They asked me if I put mud on myself, they asked me if I put cucumbers on my eyes, and they asked if I went on a big jet plane. So that's about what a 2-year-old says about trips to Israel.
I also think that it built not outside of the bond from our group, which was very, very quickly built, I felt, but also with the larger group of people who went on other trips. Yeah. Just knowing, just being able to come back and say, we went here, here, and here, and having them be so jealous because we're the best group and we had the best trip. But that sort of added to, I think it started conversations with people I wouldn't normally have talked to, and they weren't even in our group. I just sort of knew that there was a common experience, and it wasn't just that they had been to Israel, it was that they had gone on this trip as a group. And so even that is sort of a commonality that...
I think being selected, to go to this trip from JCC is like an honor. maybe an honor, to reward you for your service or your dedication. So it's a badge you wear. Once you go and come, you're like a veteran. You belong to the fraternity. It's like you're a part of it now. It's just not only bond between you and your colleague, but bond between you and people who traveled before.
My name is Colleen O'Connor. I am the Member Relations Manager in the Fitness Center.
I'm Cynthia Fletcher-Billups. I'm the Web Services Manager.
I'm Brian Garrick. I'm the Program Coordinator for the Hub of the JCCSF.
One of the other ways that I felt so cared for in Israel is that by virtue of the structure of the seminar itself, everything is planned out and thought about for you. So you're literally being transported and guided throughout the entire experience. This was really a new experience for me because I'm so used to being in charge and corralling and taking care of other people, especially, let's say, in my management team, here at work, or even with my friends, my family, whatever the case may be. So I like to say that in Israel, it was an opportunity where I was not herding cats, as we like to say, and I used to like to say cats, K-A-T-Z, as opposed to cats as in kitties. Although, by the way, Israel is completely overrun with cats.
What I wasn't prepared for, though, was seeing and doing so much at the pace that we did, doing it with other people, doing it with a diverse group of folks that I work with, and who, some of whom weren't Jewish, and some of whom had never been to Israel before. I wasn't prepared for any of that.
It was a really good time being together with everybody. I was actually kind of nervous about it because I knew a couple people, but for the most part, I haven't really hung out or talked to anybody. So I was a little worried about how the trip was going to turn out. But I made some really good friendships that I'm really glad that I made, and really look forward to continuing. 2 weeks.
We sleep in the same hotel, we eat at the same time, we do everything together. Kind of created a bond, kind of started knowing people better. I'm a little bit more freer to talk with some of these my colleagues than before, because I've been related like family,
שלום, תנו לצהל לנצח, עם חזק עושה שלום, תנו לצהל לכסח, אין שלום עם ערבים, אל תיתנו להם רובים, קרבי זה אחי, אחי, גיוס לכולם, תור לכולם, שום ייאוש בעולם, יש הזה כאן, אנחנו מאומן, no fear, משיח בעיר, אין ערבים, אין פיגועים, בקץ מסכן יהודים, העם עם הגולן, העם עם הטרנספר, חבר אתה חסר, הקדוש ברוך הוא, אנחנו בוחרים בך, בחירה ישירה זה רע